Breaking off all units. Fire at will. Squad 2, pick your targets. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. I'm hit. Where's the reinforcements?
Hey everyone, this is General Katarn, and I am very, very ill, as you can hear me. My sinuses are clogged up, and there's no other way for me to sound except for, I don't know, sound like someone with a permanent morning voice, and not a good one at that. So, I'm still very sick, but I'm going to bring you a video to inform you guys on why Brie Larson is such a disliked person. Now, disclaimer, she's not a bad person. It's just that her success with Captain Marvel prior to Endgame, which would have been a no-brainer. I mean, any movie you could have put Poo Poo Man for that matter, or Poo Poo Woman, a Marvel MCU film before Endgame, and people would go and see it because it is a precursor to Endgame, and people thought that it would have clues. And it was completely the exact opposite. It's something that you can skip, and that is why I haven't reviewed this movie on my channel. Now, is Brie Larson a bad person? Excuse me for a second. I know, I'm sorry about this. Brie Larson isn't a bad person because, okay, let me just run it down. What makes Brie Larson very dislikable? Number one, she is arrogant. Ever since she won an Oscar, I don't remember what movie it was, because if it was something memorable I would remember, I could check it out, or you guys can tell me in the comments, but it doesn't matter because Leonardo DiCaprio also won an Oscar, and he still didn't change as a personality. He's still awesome, okay? So some people can't handle fame, some people can't, like Brie Larson. So she became arrogant after that. And let me just show you guys some clips to back what I'm saying. Okay, proof that Brie Larson can act. This is from Mauler's video on reviewing Captain Marvel. Just check this out.
Trying to trick me, okay? There wasn't a dog. Old Nick stole me. The world is so big. It's so big you wouldn't even believe it. And room is just one stinky part of it.
As you can see, she can act. She can emote.
You are amazing.
But apparently the farts she huffed from her Oscar have given her the impression that she can say or do whatever she wants, and it's just great.
I have this interview here from another YouTuber and a personal friend of mine, which is John Talks, and well, he has done a very good job of isolating some of the critical points of this interview. It's an 8-minute interview, actually, if you go on YouTube, but they're not going to show these tasty bits, okay? She's rude to her co-stars, and just look what is said, okay? Just take a look at this clip.
Finding our way, but it was a good group of people to figure it out with.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Yeah,
Isn't it fun being there for all my extra takes?
You can see Don Cheadle does not want anything to do with Brie Larson. Same thing with Jeremy Renner.
The apprenticeship. The apprenticeship. The apprenticeship.
Don, what was it like when somebody new comes in? Is there like initiation? Is there you're accepting? You're like,
No. There was definitely a hate.
I think I'm still in it.
She's still in it. Yeah, and it's good because we actually get to kind of play with that. We do anyway, for sure, in the scene itself when she kind of shows up. So it was nice, but she kind of fit right in. She paid her dues on time. The initiation dues were paid promptly. And
Still waiting for my membership card that hasn't been received.
$25.
And there's another one here from John Talks.
So I was figuring out this
Just
character,
check what Chris Hemsworth
but very
has to
much in
say.
the dark. There was no script to read. There wasn't even, it wasn't all flushed out yet with the Captain Marvel solo film either. So it was just kind of finding our way, but it was a good group of people to figure it out with, right, guys?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun being there for all my extra takes?
Signed you up. The apprenticeship.
I don't feel like I actually
took over.
learned.
Isn't
Isn't it fun being there for all my extra takes?
Signed you up. The apprenticeship.
I don't feel like I
took
actually
over.
learned. Being there for all my extra takes.
Signed you up.
Fantastic deduction there from John Talks. And there's more. Just look.
The apprenticeship.
I don't feel like I actually
took over.
learned.
Like I said, there's been sort of the passing of the torch, and Brie just has to not screw it up.
Any pressure with that, Brie? No, being the new
I
kid?
felt okay until he said it like that, and then now I feel a little scared.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
You're
Totally
fine.
fine.
I
No,
think
thanks
you-
for
I
jumping
think
on
you-
me.
The way she's dressed, she's 29. She's almost my age, and she dresses as if she's 64, man.
Quite
You're
successfully
gonna be
stolen
fine.
the torch and taken over.
Is there any competition?
I don't
You're
think
fine.
I think
No, thanks
you-
for
I
jumping
think
on me.
No, 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 you're
Quite
fine. You're
successfully
gonna be
stolen
fine.
the torch and taken over.
Is there any competition?
You're
Totally
fine.
I
fine.
think
No,
you-
thanks for
I
jumping
think
on me.
No, 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 you're
Quite
fine.
successfully
You're gonna be
stolen
fine.
the torch and taken over.
So you have it. Okay, Deshaun Talks, everyone. You should check his channel out, but obviously if you know me, you know him. So basically, just Brie Larson, I believe that for Chris Hemsworth, who's a fun guy, to say something like this, and Don Cheadle, they're both very fun to be with. I'm sorry, I know that rolling toilet paper in front of you guys is not something that you need to see, but if I'm sick and worked up enough to discuss this, then you must imagine how serious it is. Okay, so what does this mean? Gosh, because I've also got a fever running up, and Brie Larson's not helping. So if you get guys like Don Cheadle and Jeremy Renner and of course Chris Hemsworth, who are very fun people to be with, I've seen other interviews of them and they're a blast, they're funny. If they manage to act like this around Brie Larson, that means that there's a problem with Brie Larson, and there's people out there still defending her and saying, "Oh my God, Queen Brie! You cannot say anything negative about her. The media is so protective of her." And yet here, the interviews are proof, okay? I mean, you can't tamper with these things. I know what Chris Hemsworth sounds like. There was no tampering in this. Okay, there was just enhancement. And what made her? Okay, her famous interview about, white dudes and, inclusivity of... I'm sorry about that. Inclusivity about more people of color when it comes to interviewing her and reviewing movies as critics, which is this one right here. Let's just take a quick listen. So,
I am so grateful to be up here to receive this award so I can not thank my family and my team and instead talk about something that's really important to me. I'd like to bring to light an aspect of our industry that has risen to the surface in the last week.
which is non-existent, by the way. Brie.
It's an issue that's been bubbling since really the whole time, but this issue has a solution that each one of us in this room can participate in. So earlier this week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings.
Oh my God, inclusive initiative, because we need inclusivity. Did it ever occur to you that some people of some certain ethnic groups and skin colors have different cultures that do not have the same likings as, for example, white people? I mean, people of other races and cultures have that's what makes them unique. They're different. And Brie Larson, and sorry about that again, Brie Larson and every single SJW out there has this obsession with trying to put every single people of every single gender, skin color, culture group, they're trying to level them out, like as if they had 10 shot glasses and they want to pour the same quantity in those glasses. Well, those glasses, if they're people, they're not of the same volume, they're not of the same length, width, they're different. You cannot have the same thing apply to different culture groups. And you're advocating for diversity, but at the same time, you're negating this with these kind of speeches.
That 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males.
Oh my God.
Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men. Only 2.5% of those top critics were women of color.
So what Brie's problem here is that, people that review films, people that interview actors in big productions such as, Avengers, are not being inclusive enough. Have you ever sat down to think that maybe those same people that you're advocating for are saying the same stupid stuff, like you, Brie, want me to give you a pointer? Check this one here. This guy is a man of color, okay? He's brown. He is not in the white majority, okay? So he's not a bad person. And just listen what this kind of stupid things he utters when he's reviewing people like Robert Downey Jr. and Quentin Tarantino, okay? Just take a look.
Past is that you've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in the dark periods you entered and taking drugs and drinking and all of that. And I just wondered whether...
Look how uncomfortable. Look at the resting face of Robert Downey Jr. Just look at this. He's like, oh my God, are you really going there? So you see, if the roles were reversed and it was a white guy interviewing a brown person of color, asking him such personal questions as what he did in prison and substance abuse, it would be racist. It would be like, oh my God, so just because he's brown, it implies that he has done drugs, right? Oh my God, how could you say such a thing? But people never lost their shit when people like this guy, this brown interviewer person, had all of this stupid things to say to Robert Downey Jr. Personal things. Okay, so whenever which is a form of doxing, by the way, but you cannot dox Robert Downey Jr., but if it was a less popular actor, his career could be on the line right now because of these stupid questions. So what I want to say is that when other people dox white males, it's okay. But when white males dox any other ethnicity or culture or gender, okay, it is bad. So you see, sometimes it's not a good idea. Just leave what white people are good at. If they're good at reviewing things, you should let them review. It's like, I live in an agricultural town, for example. All of the people here, the majority are farmers. I cannot make them into stockbrokers, okay, and make them more inclusive. They cannot all be stockbrokers. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make them all fishermen and stockbrokers. Let them be unique. Damn it. I just want to breathe so hard. Let them be unique. Let them do what they're good at. Okay, you cannot make everyone everything. That's what communism was about. Everyone had to eat the same thing. Everyone had to like the same thing. Everyone had to drive the same car. Everyone had to live in the same dimensions of house. Everyone had to eat the same stuff. Everyone had to go and work at the same hour. Everyone had to work, the same. Okay, they had to come back from home at the same at a specific hour. All the same. That was what communism was, and it failed. Okay, and today that's what it is. Communist is a wonderful ideology, but it cannot be applied because some people more than others strive to do more. Okay, so I didn't want to take this to political thing, but back to this reporter here, okay?
You think you're free of all of that? Or whether that's still something
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
See? Bye. That's it. You're asking stupid questions.
I'm sorry, but why are you so sure that there's no
Again,
link
the same reporter.
between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
He's trying to fish Tarantino, and essentially because he writes about violence, that means he's violent as well. I may write a novel about me being a bodybuilder, but in real life I may be a pathetic slob, and I may look like a piece of shit, okay, compared to a bodybuilder, that is. So just because I write a fiction about something does not automatically make me able to do that. Because I admire it does not mean that I'm going to apply it in life, okay? And Quentin Tarantino, yes, he's very well known for his very graphic and violent scenes in his movies, but that doesn't mean that he's a schizophrenic sociopath that takes a knife and starts hacking everybody because that's what he does in movies. I mean, this is a false equivalency, but yet again, just look how this, underprivileged reporter of color, that Brie Larson here wants more people to interview. Okay, these same people, and this is one of these people. Other interviewers might be doing a good job, but this is one example. Okay, this guy here, this brown dude, he is crossing a line. Okay, and again, no one bats an eye because, hey, it's a person of color. He's underrepresented. He can say whatever he wants. He can basically dox people and attack them and make personal questions that make people feel uncomfortable and reverse the racism. If it was a white guy asking a person of color, you would have been at this speech right here. And just look at the reception. She's still talking shit. And people that defend her, this video is for you. You defend Brie Larson? Just look at what people
So you're probably thinking right now, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in, and that's because that's true. This is a huge disconnect from the U.S. population breakdown of 30% white men.
General Qatar haters be like, that's right, take it up. You sick bastard. I hope you die of pneumonia. Die, you sick son of a gun. I could have used more spicier words, but anyway.
30% white women, 20% men of color. Why am I... Lindsay, who I love, and thank you so much for bringing Jesse up here and making me super emotional while I rattle off percentages of people. On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I of color will have the chance to see.
Look at the reaction of people. Look at this woman's face here. She's like, is she really saying that? And, you know, look at how people are reacting. I have seen more vivid applause for much simpler speeches at children's plays, okay, where things are rehearsed. And look at the reaction. They're like, okay.
And this is also not to mention other people to be.
There's another shot.
So what would it take? White dudes. I'm just saying that everyone is in the room. So what would we get there? Well, here I am. It's easier than you might think. The bottom line is that if each of the top 100 films in a year, 3 underrepresented females, and the average critic pool would match.
Look. Okay, I got it.
In just 5 years. Super simple.
Look, not even women who are underrepresented are actually applauding to Brie Larson. Look at this, okay? This is her speech. This has not been tampered with. This is just a snippet. And you can see that the same people in that very room that very day are looking at Brie Larson. Look, is this a confident face that you see here? Where my mouse is, look at these people's faces. Let me just enlarge the image up for you guys. Is this a face of confident people thinking that, hey, you know what, Brie Larson is saying something significant? And listen to the clapping. Okay, I have heard more noise in a cemetery than this. And I'm not kidding you. Spooky stuff. Okay? I mean...
5 years. Super simple.
They're buying it. Look at this woman. Look at these women. They're looking at her like, are you for real? Okay? So, Brie Larson defenders, we are not crazy. We're not hating on Brie Larson. What I'm trying to say is that she has been instructed to act this way by, I don't know, maybe Disney, by Marvel, because I don't think that anyone is innately arrogant and you know, this pompous. But I believe that Brie Larson was instructed to act this way just so that she can stir the pot against the controversial fans, the toxic fandom, okay? This is what she was instructed to do. I can tell you this, guaranteed, that if Captain Marvel was not promoted the way it was promoted, there wouldn't have been a problem with Brie Larson. It would have been just another Marvel movie, another successful Marvel movie that came off of right before Endgame. So she has been instructed to act this way, and that is why I am not reacting on Brie Larson. I did my research on Brie Larson. She's not a horrible person. She's just being, you know, the puppeteers behind are actually pulling the strings and having Brie Larson to act like a douche. And of course this has consequences because not everyone is going to think, hey, who is letting Brie Larson be such an arrogant prick? Okay, and last, Brie Larson fans, you have to realize that why people don't like Brie Larson is because when you play or portray a superhero, be it woman or man, you have a responsibility, especially to the kids, to be a proper role model that kids can look up to. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel has none of those qualities. Oh my god, my nose is going to burst. I just want to take this pencil and stab it in my sinuses so that they can actually inflate so I can be able to breathe again. But what was I saying? Yeah, guys, this is the problem that people have with Brie Larson. Okay, she is arrogant and she is not a proper role model for younger people to look up to. Okay, this is not something that this isn't something healthy. Just like Raylo, it's not a healthy role model for a relationship. This is not a healthy role model of how a dynamic woman can be. The most dynamic women in the room have this electricity about themselves. They do not have to prove themselves. They don't have to take no hero poses. They don't have to do these stupid speeches and talk about inclusivity and give these stupid bullshit stats. They walk in the room and they own it. Okay? Other actresses have, for example, Meryl Streep. She owns every room she's in. Susan Sarandon is one of those actresses. And if you want younger actresses like, Scarlett Johansson. She owns the room that she's in. She's not, this pompous bitch that goes around and says, hey, I'm a woman. You have to respect me. I can kick everyone's ass in here. Okay? And that's why she was very likable. Okay, guys. That's all I have to say. Let that sink in. I'll go back to dying right now, and if I come back from the grave, who knows, maybe I'll pull a Jesus. I'm sorry if I'm blasphemous, but the thing is that I feel terrible, but still I see that my audience is growing daily, and I want to bring them content that I want to discuss. If you guys like what you saw, if you want to add a few comments here and there, if you feel differently about Brie Larson and disagree, or maybe agree and want to expand on what I said, go ahead, please. And I'll check you guys next time. Comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Hopefully I'll be healthier. And that's all I have to say. General Katarn, out.